Hey folks, thanks for stopping by the shop. Today we're going to get back on the 61 Impala and we are going to start on our rear seat building. And we've got to build a seat from scratch and get it ready so we can start putting foam on it and design the seat. And I want to do that now before I move on to the wiring, because everything, comes into play, and I want to get that roughed in first, and then we'll play with the details on it. But just wanted you guys to come along with me and help and show you some of the details that I use to determine what I'm going to do. And it's from scratch, so nothing's predetermined, and there's no templates hanging on the wall. So we just got to make it. So whether you have a 61 Impala or a 73 Pinto or 73 Camaro or whatever you got, whatever you're building, I think you're going to find something that we're doing today that's going to help you out. So come on out in the shop, help me out, and let's see what we can do. All right, we're going to make a rough end back seat platform that we can build off of. I know the seat edge runs really close to where these factory panels, armrests for the rear back seat, come into play. So somewhere right around in here. So I'm going to scoot this back and get it close to where that is, and now I've got it there. This is just a piece of foam that I had saved back for different projects, packing stuff and all of that. Came in with some parts. I'm just going to use this. I know this leading edge, I'm probably going to do some MDF or maybe even a 2x4. It doesn't really have to be that big, but I've got some of that stuff laying around, and if I've got enough. We're going to take a measurement from here to there, get that measurement, and with this pattern here, I'm just going to do it to where I'm cutting out for the center. So I've got a center line right here, and then I know that the outside edge is going to be right there, and I know that angle is not really hard to find. So I've got the angle, I've got the outside edge, and I've got the center line. So now I need to find out what material I'm going to use, and based on the thickness of that material, I can cut across here, and then I can round my edges a little bit. So it's not rocket science, and all I'm doing is trying to get close. There'll be a panel across the front of here that fits the contour a whole lot better, that'll have a foam glued to it, that the seat upholstery will come down. So let me take this and rough it out on a 2x4 and see how close I can get. Let me get these measurements right here, and we'll see if we can't whip up something. All right, so I just took that template that we made and took it and cut it out of this 2x4 right here. Now, you think that center section is not going to hold up the weight of the seat, but that is not going to have anything to do with sitting on the seat. So that's just basically keeping these two together. We'll still do something in the center there, and it'll have a top on it, of course. So now the game plan is to make one for the rear. So I'll do exactly the same thing, except for the rear. I do have some humps and stuff that I need to do. So off camera, I'm going to make a quick template on that, and then I'll get that cut out. All right, so now I've got the rear done, and you can see over there, especially where I haven't put the sound deadening material, you can see the contours that I had to cut across. And now we've got the front made and the back made. And I left room when I cut these so that I could take another 2x4, and that's overkill, guys. You could use MDF. There's not a lot of pressure back here. Wood, I happen to have this wood, so that's why I used it. Just use my ideas and use whatever materials you have that you want to use. From here, I need to do these side pieces, And there's a lot more to this that we'll cover. This will be, braced, fiberglass probably in some areas. There'll be cushioning underneath it, some braces to hold it down, brackets to hold it down. But you want this to be able to be slid in after it's upholstered. So you don't want to have any hidden fasteners underneath here because you won't be able to get to them. You just don't want it to go anywhere. And when somebody slides in and slides out, that's the only thing you got to worry about. So let me get these pieces cut, and then we'll bolt this together, and we'll see what it looks like. And then we've got to do a top, and then we've got to do a back. So we're going to try to get all that done today in this video. So I'm trying to keep the video short, so I'm not going to show you all the wood cutting because it's pretty simple. You make you a template on however your floor is, and you cut it out. Try to keep the pieces level when you get them in, and yeah, that's where you do it, or that's how I do it. So let's get to the next step. All right, don't be sending me any bad comments about my woodworking skills, please. I do have a few woodworking skills, but trust me, this right here does not matter at this point yet. We'll put some braces in it and do all kinds of stuff. But I went back and trimmed the front, and I trimmed the back to where I can put me I've got this acoustical type high density padding that I'll put on those edges. That way that'll be up against the metal. There won't be any squeaking and vibration issues later. So I did that. I got everything sitting. It's not sitting completely flat yet, but it's looking really good. Now I've got to get some paper, and really, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of wood, and I'm going to cut the corners off of it real quick. Take some measurements, cut a piece of wood, and see how close I can get, because it's going to be square until we get our design. So let me go try to dig through my plywood and see what I can find. Okay, that was way too easy. This was a shelf that I used to have. No longer have the shelf, but I had this piece. Basically, it was the exact size that I needed, minus cutting off the corners by the wheel tubs. So I've got another piece of this. I'm not going to be able to use the whole length of it because the wheel tubs go up a lot higher. And this needs to be the back that secures to the rear firewall, passenger compartment, trunk barrier, whatever you want to call that. And it's going to be part of the seat. It's going to be the back of the seat. So we're going to upholstery to it. So let me get the other one cut down just a little bit, and then we'll slide it in place. All right, so I got the other one cut down and rough cut it around the tubs. And it's pretty good. I mean, I kind of just guessed at the top a little bit where it goes across the top. Now this will need to be cut off at the bottom based on whatever I do on the foam on the bottom seat. I'll have to cut the bottom of that back seat so that it'll go in place and you'll be able to get seat belts and stuff through it. But I went ahead and just did a rough cut like this. So let me step back, and now you can see what it's starting to look like. And let me throw a piece of foam up there real quick. Let's see. I've got a piece of foam right here that we can throw up there. And you can see the direction that I'll be going. I'll be taking this foam, it's left over from something else, and we can cut it down, shape it however we want to with a sander, build a piece in the front so that the front seat will wrap all the way around. So this is going to be a fun project for you guys to follow. Or you know, I've got multiple pieces of this, so we can do it for the back and the bottom and put a console in the center of it that runs all the way up front. And believe it or not, that was the intentions at first, but I really don't want to do that. I think that might be dated, and I want this car to have a luxury looking back seat. Let's put this other piece of foam in here. That's really a back, the bottom. But you can kind of see the direction, you know, that we're going. So that plywood's going to work out really good. The measurements that we took and all that. So like I said, I'd give you more details if you're interested. just message me. But unless you've got a 61 Impala, it's not gonna make any difference. You're just gonna have to rough it out like I did. But that's what's going on with the Impala today. Please follow on this, because this is going to be a cool back seat along with the front seat. I've got to cut these front seats down, bring in the top, make all new foam for them. And like I said, this is some leftover foam that I had from another project, and I'm just trying to use it on this. So I think it's going to be really interesting if you guys follow along. So stay with me on it. Hey folks, thanks for stopping by the shop today, and thanks for helping out. I sure appreciate everybody's love and support on the channel. It's really growing, and that means so much. So I hope you got something out of today's video, whether you're building a 61 bubble top or a 1970 Lincoln. I don't know what you're building. I'd love to know, let me know, but I hope you got something out of it. But anyway, if you're through watching, get out in the garage and go build something. Till next time.